outline your script. If you want to get started with your idea, you can start writing a bunch of stuff, stream of conscious, which people do. But one of my favorite ways to get started on writing a script is to use an outline. Now, I don't start outlining like the entire script. I first start with the 5 major beats, or maybe it's 6. So I start with, what's my opening image? What's the first thing I want people to see when they start watching the movie? The second thing I think about is, what's the inciting incident? And that's that incident where it kind of starts, that pushes the character, my main character, into the journey, where something kind of sets them off. Like, so a lot of times you'll see an inciting incident. If you think about, they'll get fired. They'll get fired, they find a dead body, something happens, and usually the first 5 to 10 minutes of the show where it does something to the main character. Then the next one is that break, that movement from Act 1 to Act 2, a catalyst. So what happens where the character has made a decision, they're going to go on this journey. So Star Wars, Luke decides he is going with Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's the catalyst that gets from Act 1 to Act 2. And now you're in Act 2. Act 2 is a completely different world from Act 1. Think about Star Wars. Now that Luke is on the road with Obi-Wan Kenobi, we're in Tatooine, I think. Where are we? Y'all tell me in the comments. We're in a whole new place and bars. He's a long way from the farmland with his aunt and uncle. Think about The Wizard of Oz. When the tornado happens and she's now in Oz. She's literally in a whole other world. Act 2 is a whole other world. So now they're on the journey. Okay, and then the next big point that you want to hit is your midpoint complication, where whatever your hero's going after, something goes awry. Something complicates things for them. So figure out what that is. And then your low point. And low point is almost always like really someone died, or there's a hint of someone dying, but that's like the lowest point of the movie for your main character. All is lost. How will they ever do it? Will Rocky ever be able to beat the Russian? That's your low point. And then your battle scene, which is where your hero faces the enemy, the antagonist. Rocky fights the big Russian. That's your battle scene. And it's, Luke fighting Darth Vader. That's your battle scene. So, and then the last thing I think about is, what is my closing image? What do I end on? Just the visual. Those major beats, that's how you get started figuring out your idea. Once you are playing with those beats, you start to see, do I know what my hero wants? Do I know who my hero is? Do I know what the world is? You need to know those questions to fill in the beats. So this is kind of a 2-part process. You're thinking about these beats, but it's also forcing you to think deeper about the story. And that's where you start. And that's the beginnings of your outline.